Have you ever wondered how much inflation can impact your daily life? We're going to break down the impact of inflation on people in their 40s and 50s by learning these three concepts. First, what is inflation? Second, could inflation impact my investments and life, and how? And third, how to hedge against inflation. Hello, David here with Living Your Wealth, and welcome to Whiteboard in the Wilderness. I am presenting these three strategies over a three-part video series. In today's video, I will be discussing the first concept. What is inflation? By the end of today's part one, you will have learned about the basics of inflation, how it is calculated, and the different types of inflation. So the what? Remember, as young Gen Xers, we would be able to go to the movies and have a tub of popcorn on our dates for $10. You may wonder why gas is now $4.75 per gallon, or that some movie theaters can charge a gigantic $20 for a screening and $11 for popcorn, which is one of my pet peeves. The answer is simple: inflation. The simplest definition of inflation states that inflation is the overall increase in the price of goods in the economy, which could be a rise in price for everyday products like milk, a car, and fruits and vegetables. However, there's a lot more to inflation than meets the eye. For many Gen Xers in their 40s and 50s, it could be the price of a vacation. Have you checked out hotel prices lately? Or the cost of helping your children purchase their first vehicle. We have seen dramatic increases in some of these items over the last 6 to 8 months. We will cover some of the basics of inflation and as well as the types of inflation. The very basics. As stated earlier, inflation is the general increase in goods and services in an economy. It shows the decrease in purchasing power of a country's currency, such as the US dollar. In the United States, the US Department of Labor uses various indexes to measure different aspects of inflation. As the prices of everyday goods and services rise, the money you have in your wallet buys less. It may also have a longer-term impact on your retirement accounts because inflation affects everything around us. Keeping tabs on how the rate of inflation is trending is essential when making decisions, and especially decisions about money now and also in the future. One commonly used inflation metric is the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. Calculated by the government, the feds measure CPI by monitoring the average change in prices paid for various goods and services, classified by 8 groups: food, housing, apparel, medical care, recreation, transportation, education, and communication, and other goods and services. Quite a mouthful. The stuff we use most of the time, basically. So what are the types of inflation? Inflation is significant because it can tell you how much to expect a product or service price to rise or fall in a specific time frame. Most countries' central banks, such as the United States Federal Reserve, try to maintain inflation rates between 2 to 3%. For example, if the annual inflation rate of a gallon of milk is 2% per year, then milk prices will be 2% higher next year. However, sometimes there is an extreme case of inflation which can lead to what's called hyperinflation. Older Gen Xers can remember waiting in gas lines in the 70s, which was not pleasant. And then there's also stagflation. Hyperinflation is a period of rapid inflation that goes above 50% or more in a month. Although hyperinflation is very rare, it has happened a few times throughout history. One famous example is in Germany in the 1920s, where the Germans had to pay war reparations set forth by the Treaty of Versailles. Due to the amount of money owed, Germany printed endless unbacked currency, making their currency completely worthless. When hyperinflation occurs, a country's currency is either reformed, discarded, or replaced. Stagflation is a period of economic inactivity paired with inflation. This double whammy can cause economic adversity fueled by poor economic growth, high unemployment rates, and inflation. A famous example of this is the Great Inflation the United States experienced between 1965 and 1982, where 4 economic recessions, 2 energy shortages, and wage price controls caused a rise of inflation and unemployment, which was terrible. Stagflation can be challenging to manage, as monetary policymakers must determine whether raising interest rates will reduce stagflation or further spike unemployment. It's kind of a catch-22. So deflation is the widespread decrease in value of goods and services in an economy and shows the increase in purchasing power of a country's currency. Deflation is often caused by a decline in the supply of money or credit without a corresponding reduction in economic output, causing the price of goods and services to fall. Deflation can happen by a lack of demand or an increase in efficiency, such as a technological advancement, making goods and services cheaper. So reflation happens as a way to curb deflation, when a government purposefully stimulates the economy by increasing the money supply or government spending, such as what we've seen in the last year and a half with the COVID stimulus payments. Reflation can happen when the government lowers interest rates, which we've seen a lot of, and so very important summary there. So as you can see, there are many types of inflation and ways to measure it. Inflation is not always a bad thing, as long as the economy is growing along with it. We will explore how inflation can impact you and in our second video, so please check in. One of the main reasons we provide these videos for you Gen X is education and providing objective advice. We want to help you know and understand that there are many focus areas for financial planning, at least on a fundamental level. When you plan for the unexpected, the emotional and financial stress often ends up being far less taxing than if you did nothing at all. It is impossible to avoid every unforeseen situation, but we have witnessed firsthand the power of the financial plan. Thank you again, and we hope you have a great day. We would love to hear from you, so please subscribe to our channel and like us if you enjoyed this video. And at the close of every video, we will give you the quote from my absolute favorite TV show, The Office. And we want you to guess which character said which passage, and there is extra credit for naming the season and episode. So please email me at david@livingyourwealth.com with the answer. The doctor said, if I can't find a new way to relate more positively to my surroundings, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Thank you very much.